Pete here with the Small Business Resource Center and PeteGustis.com. Just wanted to give you an April 11th update on all the four SBA, Department of Treasury, CARES Act programs. The reason why I wanted to do that is because I don't feel like making 10 videos, even though I've done that. And I'm sure you don't want to watch 10 videos. But here's the update. Share this with your friends if you think it's valuable. If you want to do me a favor, like the video. But the first round of some stimulus checks had started arriving. So keep that in mind. Other people also stated that when they got not the $1,200 and the $2,400 stimulus, but the Paycheck Protection Program or the $10,000 economic injury disaster loan, before that happened, about 2 or 3 days prior, they got a ding on their credit report. When I say ding, they had their credit checked. So one other thing that happened is people had mentioned that if you have one of those type of credit accounts where you froze your account so people and nobody can check your credit, it's actually messing up the payroll protection program. It's also messing up the $10,000 EDIL advance or an EDIL loan application, because basically the government's doing all the automated stuff, the things they can do quickly, and the ones that they have any concerns about, they're basically kind of putting them in the back. So that might delay 1, 2, 3 weeks, a month. No one's exactly sure how long it will delay it. So if you do have a way of unfreezing your credit, or if you had a fraud protection thing set up, you may want to turn it off for a couple days. And then hopefully when they check your credit, you weren't impacted, because if they are trying to do it now and it doesn't go through, they're not sitting there and saying, somebody, let's fix this now. They're just skipping you and basically sticking you in the back of the line. So how long that's going to delay, not really sure. The information I researched didn't say exactly how long, but they said maybe it could be 2 weeks. Maybe it could be another month before you start receiving stimulus money because of that. Okay, next. A lot of businesses have this very same thing set up. Keep in mind it's April 11th right now. But basically, you try to apply online for the Small Business Administration Paycheck Protection Program. What they do is they have you fill out a little form. They tell you they're going to email you. And then basically, nothing happens. Or they do email you and say they're still waiting. And other people told me they went to the bank, and the bank, some of them, they held on to the application that they printed from one of my other videos. I'll put the link in the description. Actually, I'll have a link to the description on how you can apply right now. Anybody can, supposedly. The application's there. Also, Bank of America, if you're currently with Bank of America, you can apply right now, but Bank of America is not letting people set up new accounts and applying, from what I've been told. So if you're currently with Bank of America, go to your Bank of America website. You can apply for the Payroll Protection Program. If you want the $10,000, $1,000 to $10,000 economic injury disaster loan, there'll be a link in the description too. Keep in mind, I know people who've waited over a week, they've told me, and they're still not being told by their bank they can apply. And some banks that have applications, like the first link mentioned, they've already started receiving funds. Now, here's another interesting article I found. This basically says if you make over $100,000, the PPP stimulus, well, you don't qualify for it. And the problem with this is, as a small business owner, I know for a lot of people, they're looking at this and saying, hey, no problem. But keep in mind, for a regular business, if you had 4 employees making $25,000 a year, which is poverty, you're right at that $100,000 mark. That's not really much. You know, this number should have been way higher, maybe 500,000, maybe 1 million. But you got to look at this and realize that so many small businesses can't qualify because they have a couple employees. I can guarantee even a small restaurant probably won't qualify. Well, depend upon the restaurant because their payroll is over $100,000 per year. There is another program, but when you're looking at this here, there's a Main Street lending program. So what's being missed here is the in-between, the $100,000 payroll and what I would call larger companies, and when other people define large companies, they seem not to fall into what I say. I think small businesses should be really anyone probably under like $2 million, and that's it. But in total sales, maybe 3. I guess it depends what area you're at. Okay, let's increase that a little. But when you're looking at this Main Street program, it's more for larger companies. If you have 10,000 workers, so we got Paycheck Protection Program, $100,000 in payroll. Now we have a program which they just launched, which is for 10,000 employees and below. Where is everybody in the middle? It seems like it's always, I want to say, middle America that's being forgotten here. So I can rant about this all day. Links will be in the description, by the way. Now let's look at this next thing. If you didn't file your application, if you don't file taxes, or if you think your banking information is incorrect, they are getting this Get My Payment. It's going to be probably sometime next week. So it's 11th. We're speculating sometime next week. You'll be able to go to irs.gov, get the free app. You got to put your social, date of birth, mailing address, your adjusted gross income. So have your taxes ready, the refund or amount owed from the latest filed tax returns, and your new bank information. If you have all that information, you'll be able to update your information on the IRS to make sure you're getting your refund, or I should say your tax credit, be whatever you want to call it, the $1,200 to $2,400 or whatever you're applying for. Okay, and the Department of Treasury also announces that they're supporting smaller passenger airline carriers. Of course, airlines are in big distress. If you saw the videos I had about when I traveled to San Jose, when I traveled back, and when I was in Boston and traveled, there's 6 to 15 people on the airplane each time. And both these airlines probably could have had 200, the other smaller one, maybe 100 passengers. So they're having relief for the airlines, and that's probably necessary. Once again, what about the small business owners? The small business owners that are middle America that have a payroll over 100,000. We have a voice and we need help too. Just because, someone in the government saying 100,000 is enough. In a lot of areas, $100,000 is the average pay if you're in a big city. So and that's not always doing well. I'm not picking on anyone, but I'm not going to say names, of course, but being a real estate agent, I've had people who have over $100,000 a year income, and then basically they can't even qualify for a home loan, and not because they have bad credit, because they have so much debt because of student loans. They decide they need a car. Everybody needs a car, but got out of college, got a good job, got a car. Now they're paying student loans, they're paying rent, they're paying all the credit cards, all the normal things that people do. They have daycare for their kids, and now boom, you're over 100,000. You can't qualify for these programs, and you can't get a home loan because your debt to income is so bad. So, well, I was hoping I would have a great, maybe I should say a positive update for today, but it is what it is. Here's the update for the Payroll Protection Program. Links for the description for my other videos on how to apply. And, hopefully they do something for middle income people and smaller businesses so they can qualify. Pete Custis, Small Business Resource Center. Do me a favor and like the channel, like the video, do your friends a favor and share it.